What up, y'all? It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. Thanks for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated and those of you all who will, I appreciate it. Also, the donation link is in the description box. Someone asked me that on the last video in one of the comments, so it's there. Also, go over to my other YouTube channel, Dawson Speak. Make sure y'all subscribe as well. Now, I covered this story about 2-3 weeks ago of this Kansas City elder, Robert Lee Harris Jr., who murdered his wife, Tanisha Harris, who was an associate minister at the church that they both attended in Kansas City. And I got a lot of feedback on this particular story from his family and some people who knew her. And I appreciate, the feedback and everything, but I'm going to do an update on this particular story because they are going through the case now and court documents are, revealing some things that actually happened that morning on the last day of Tanisha Harris' life. Now, I'm going to play this video to refresh your memory on this case for those of you all who don't know what I'm talking about, and I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
Prosecutors are now reviewing potential criminal charges against Elder Robert Harris. Meantime, members of Harris's church are reeling with shock and grief.
It's beyond unreal because I know Elder Robert. He loved her.
A sobbing minister, Hope Lizette, breaks down in tears. Just thinking about the horrible nightmare she says has rocked their small church, repairs of the breached Christian Center in South Kansas City.
I don't know what happened. I can't believe it. I don't want to believe it's true. I just want to believe that it's a mistake.
Yesterday, Overland Park police said they went to the home of Robert and Tanisha Stewart Harris to investigate a domestic dispute. Investigators say later that day, Robert called police to report his wife missing. After being questioned, police say Harris admitted to being involved in his wife's disappearance. And this morning, Tanisha's body found in a rural area of Raymore near 163rd in Kentucky. Tonight, members of repairers of the breach gathered at their church to pray for the couple and their church family.
She was the gentlest soul. She was so soft-spoken, but 2-3 words from her mouth, and it was like power.
Hold on to our faith. Hold on to what we know to be true and right. To still extend love, kindness, forgiveness, while we seek understanding.
Pastor tells me the couple was married for less than a year. Live in Olathe, Robert Townsend, Fox 4 News.
All right, let's go in, y'all. First of all, let me just say my condolences still go out to the family and friends of Tanisha Harris. This is just a sad situation, and my prayers go out to you all. And also, I want to say this before I get into the rest of this story. It's just something about that Pastor Funderburk. It's just something about him that just doesn't set well with me. The way he acted on camera, it was just like he was nonchalant about the whole thing, almost like he was hiding something. Now, maybe I'm the only one. Well, I know I'm not the only one. I read y'all comments on the last video. Everybody can see that. It's just something really about that whole church that it's just something wasn't right up in there. But I'm going to go ahead on with this story. Robert Harris drove everywhere looking for his missing wife, he told his worried mother-in-law by phone that evening. By then, court records obtained by the Star showed Harris had already made several trips to a nearby Walmart to buy a large trash can, plastic bags, carpet cleaner, and a filleting knife. A neighbor of Harris in the apartment complex on Perry Street told police that he heard a loud stomping noise and believed he had heard someone yelling, "Help me," earlier that evening. Later, that neighbor saw Harris struggling with the heavy trash bin, thumping down one step at a time before getting into an SUV in the parking lot, he told police, according to court document. A preliminary autopsy would show that Tanisha Harris, 38, died that day from strangulation by someone's hand, a detective said in a court affidavit. She also had signs of head trauma, including bleeding that did not appear to be fatal. Robert Harris, 30 years old, was charged January 10th with premeditated first-degree murder. His next court date is pending. Now look here. I'm done reading this. It's just a lot of stuff that, is on this about how this dude, he went to Walmart early in the morning on January the 8th, around about 9:30 a.m. to buy a filleting knife in order to commit this. So he knew what he was going to do. He was going to kill her, and how the neighbor heard the screams. All of it it adds up. They have receipts. He went to Walmart several times during that day. And I'm like, it's kind of it's shocking to me because the day before that they had communion at church. The day before that, they all were, taking, selfies and all that kind of stuff and putting stuff on Instagram about, so happy about communion. And like I said on the other video, no one could discern that. And it gets me upset because I know some of Robert's family and Tanisha family, but especially his family, some of his cousins I know, shared the video and they were saying I didn't know what I was talking about and all this kind of stuff. And they commented, but they shared the video anyway, which I thought was kind of stupid because I'm like, if you didn't like what I said, why would you comment and then share the video on your Facebook? That just didn't make any sense to me. But obviously in the midst of your pain and being upset, what I said on that video was true. And I stand by everything I said, especially to the women. And one thing I appreciate, I don't go to church. I'm not a preacher or an evangelist and, anything like that, an apostle. I told y'all that. But one thing I respect is that the women preachers and the women ministers and prophetess or whatever, they got what I was saying in that video and they shared that so much on Facebook. Some people who have churches shared that, and the women were telling other women, you got to wake up. We can't be in these churches just letting these people tell us that's your husband. You need to marry him. He's delivered now. You don't have to deal with those issues. You don't have to deal with his struggles. He can't keep a job. He don't know if he want to be with men or women. You don't know if he's after you or after your children. You don't have to deal with that abuse. You don't have to deal with all that nonsense. And I think, I don't care. They got mad with me, especially some of the people in his family, but I stand by everything I said. And when I look at that church, it's just something about that church and that pastor. It just doesn't sit well with me. Now that's just me, and y'all could form an opinion if y'all want to, but I'm just going to say what I'm saying because this girl is dead. This girl is dead behind a person that I feel was put in a relationship like so many of these people, men and women, get in relationships and they don't even know each other. They weren't even, it was less than a year almost that they had been married. Just a little over a year. And something like this happened. And I know we can't go back and say what should have happened and what somebody should have did and all this because what has happened, it's done now. But for those of you all who are listening to me and who watch my videos or who may share this on Facebook, one thing we can do is learn from everybody's mistake. We can learn from other people. We don't have to walk down those same path that somebody else did. And some of you were telling me how you all got married and how the comments I get, man, it just validates what I'm saying. It does, because I don't even have to explain why I do what I do. When I get comments from people, one lady commented on my show and she said, I walked away from a 16-year marriage and being a co-pastor of a church because the pastor who was my husband was molesting my children. That's why I'm doing these YouTube videos. So we won't have no more Tanisha Harris. So we won't have no more women up here sitting saying, oh, well, I'm waiting for my man and all this. Well, he got to struggle. Look, let me tell y'all women something. And y'all can unsubscribe. Y'all know how I feel about that. If his struggle is he don't know if he want to be men with women, men or women, or if he's bi, that shouldn't be something you have to handle. And that goes for men too. If she don't know, hey, come on, y'all. We got to be smarter than this. If you want to deal with that, then go ahead and deal with it. But I don't believe that's something that you should have to deal with. And now I'm also on the same fence because I told y'all this in several videos. I have an issue with telling these people that they're ex-gay and they're this. I believe you may suppress it, but you still gonna have those feelings. I believe that. And like him. Now people or his family got mad. Oh, you don't know what happened. You don't know. I don't have to know what happened, but I know he strangled her. I know she's dead. And I know from pictures tell 1,000 words. And not only that, just the whole company of the church. All right? Bruh, I hope they throw the book at you, Robert. I don't feel sorry for you. You're an animal and you're going to get what you deserve. This girl, how you murdered her, how she died out in that field, whatever you were struggling with, whatever you were going through, whatever was going on for any man or woman, it's not worth killing somebody over. The same way you walked into the relationship, you can walk out the relationship. Don't keep up appearances and keep up a facade for the church and for the pastor and what they gonna think. I don't care what they gonna think. You know why? Because I'm not going to be in jail. I'm not going to prison. Who cares what they think? Your wife wouldn't have been dead if you didn't care what they thought. The same way that you walked in those relationships, you can walk out of the relationships. And some of us have so much peer pressure in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and even on up with people we go to church with or people we socialize with. What they gonna think about me? I don't care what they gonna think about me if they not paying these bills. My life is not here to pander to their thoughts. Now, I may be wrong on this, but, I really don't feel that I'm wrong, because even before I did that first story on this case right here, there was a guy out in Kansas, Alonso Washington. His Twitter handle is @KC And he stated, I'm getting tips that this man killed his wife to hide his gay hookups and drugs may have been involved. I hear she was beaten to death. And he knew that even before any of the court documents came out because he's up in Kansas. So I know, people who know them, they talk, And he also tweeted this because I guess he had some kind of back and forth with some of the members there and especially with the pastor, Carlton Funderburk. He stated, minister who worked with Tanisha Harris don't want folks talking to press since I broke all the gay rumors about the church. They quiet. And that's my thing. Why didn't the pastor want the church to talk? Because I see out of all the people who were there, it was only one lady the news people were able to talk to. And after that, no one else came out and said anything. Although people contacted me through Facebook and in comments and through inboxes telling me different things, other people didn't want to talk. And that's what I'm saying. It's something about that minister or that whole church that they're hiding something about this. And, maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I may be wrong, but I ain't gonna try to say no more on that. I'm just going to tell y'all this. Men and women, just be careful who you get in relationships with. Be careful these churches, mosques, synagogue centers, wherever you go at. And just because a person happens to be in that building and you're attracted to them, it doesn't mean that that's going to be the person you're going to marry. And this is just really upsetting because it's just something also with Kansas City, because since the last video I did about the lady who was set on fire and along with Tanisha Harris and another young woman, well, actually it was 4 of them who were murdered last month in Kansas. Another young lady was shot, supposedly by her boyfriend as well, in front of her 10-year-old child. The domestic violence in Kansas City is at an all-time high. And it's just really sad, man. It's really sad. And Tanisha Harris, there's no reason for this. She should still be here. And maybe they shouldn't have gotten married and he should have been able to do what he wanted to do with his life. But let this be a lesson to all of us, especially people in the church. Don't let people push y'all to get married, men or women. Don't let people drop stuff in your ear. Or the Lord told me, y'all know how I feel about that nonsense. Tell them to go marry him. Because there are people who have gotten messed over because some prophet, some traveling evangelist told them, the Lord told me that's your husband. And this man beat you to half the death or left you with diseases or did something to your children. I told y'all about all the comments I'm getting. I'm like, man, these people, I'm saying stuff and they coming back saying, dude, it happened to me. This happened to me. And I know I'm not lying. I want y'all just to wake up. Please do not be so spiritually minded that you're no earthly good. That's how I'm going to put that. So heavenly minded, you're no earthly good. You're no good down here. Now, I know we want to think good of everybody and, everybody. Some people will kill you. Some people are narcissistic and they will take your kindness for weakness and they will prey on that. Prey. They will prey on that and they will come after you and destroy you or put you in a marriage where you're living years and years and years, literally in hell with them. And that's not the abundant life. That's not life, period. That's not living. It's okay to be single. It's okay to be single. I'm telling you, it is. Again, my condolences go out to all the women in Kansas, all the people who've lost somebody in domestic violence situations. And to Tanisha Harris' daughter, our prayers are with her as well. Now, somebody sent me something through Facebook, some GoFundMe, some type stuff. It's going to have to be legit. Now, I know the people who who know her for real. And if they send me that, then I'll put that up. But just somebody who sent me something on Facebook and you didn't have any pictures or anything, get the hell out of here. You can't scam me. Now, I know 2 people who know her, and I've seen them on Facebook and everything. All this other stuff, you better go try to scam some other YouTuber, because this ain't a come up off somebody's death. All right. Now, there are people who know her, and if they hit me up saying we have something here where we're helping her daughter, could you, give or whatnot, then we'll go from that. But when I'm looking at your profile and there's nothing there, and it's just you're sending me a link, come on. I was born a day, but it wasn't yesterday. Until next time, y'all take care of yourself and each other. It's your boy Dawson. Denise will be back on here with me soon. Y'all, let's live better lives and, take care of ourselves. Peace.